secret winning strategies to help your clients stick to your programming. Hey, I'm Sarah from mostmotion, and I'm here with another Mobility Matters episode for every sports and fitness coach who has ever had a client who struggles to stick to their diet, struggles to commit to regular exercise because they'll only train when you're there, or they keep sabotaging their own success. Okay, so if you've ever had a client that does any of that stuff, then this video is for you. But if it's not, if you think that your client is to blame for all of that stuff, this video is not for you. So for everyone else, here's something you should know. A client's inability to commit to something, to keep consistency with something, to stop sabotaging themselves is almost always an emotional issue. Now, I know that we are not, as fitness coaches, counselors, okay? And we shouldn't be either unless we are certified to do that. I need to say that right up front so nobody gets the wrong idea, okay? I don't want counselors screaming at the video, sending me hate mail or anything like that, okay? We are not counselors. We don't want to be. We just want to help our clients move forwards. But if it's their emotional stuff that's stopping them, many coaches would just think, emotions, they're soft, don't want to deal with those, either because they're frightened of getting involved with something they don't know about, which is entirely fair, or they just think it's not anything to do with fitness, which is not the case at all. Why? Because emotions drive decisions. Now, marketers have known this for decades. They have been selling us rubbish and making us buy stuff we don't need for ages because of this principle, okay? Emotions drive decisions. So, as fitness coaches, we know the power of getting somebody into a fitness routine. We know how much it can make them feel better. We can use the endorphins created by the exercise to lift their mood. It can help with mental health issues, all that kind of stuff. But the problem is, if we can't get people into doing the exercise in the first place or sticking to the diet to help them lose the weight, to make them feel better, then it's a problem. So how do we get around it? We think micro. What do I mean by that? Well, I have been in this industry dealing with my own issues, treating injuries, rehabilitating injuries, and preventing injuries for almost 20 years. So I have known this stuff inside out, upside down, and back to front for a long time, okay? But I know that all the tiny little issues can cause huge, huge problems, okay? What do I mean? I mean, if somebody is struggling with movement, I know it can create emotional issues, it can create decreases in motivation, all that kind of stuff. And that's what I call micro restrictions, okay? If somebody has a micro restriction, it's very tiny, it's not even noticeable to most people, then that's going to influence how much they're motivated, how much they want to do the exercise that you're asking them to do, okay? An example of this would be my own ankle. I shifted the bones in my ankle when I landed funny off a jumping kick in martial arts about 20 years ago, and occasionally it just feels a bit jammed, so it won't dorsiflex very far. So if I land on it, like jumping or running or anything like that, it just feels like it's like concrete, so I don't want to do it. And even when my ankle feels stuck, even the thought of going out running is just awful to me, because it's like, well, why would I want to put myself through that? My body is purposely trying to make me avoid landing on my ankle when it feels so horrible. So I know from personal experience, I have lots of clients who've had these kinds of issues when their bodies just feel a bit, they can't really explain it. They don't know what to say to tell you about it. They just don't want to do it, okay? And that micro restriction, that tiny little issue, can cause all sorts of problems. And if we don't try and deal with those micro restrictions, then we can have clients who just don't stick and they'll leave us in the end. And that's what we don't want, okay? So remember this, micro restrictions in movement create micro restrictions in motivation. Okay, I'll say it again. Micro restrictions in movement create micro restrictions in motivation. And obviously, the more micro restrictions you have, the bigger the problem. Okay, these things can build on each other. They can lead to more huge issues. Okay, so These small things can prevent results happening, and they can also, the small restrictions can lead to injuries in the future as well. So what can we do? Well, one of the biggest things that we can do is have a lot of fun, okay? If we can increase somebody's mood, then we can increase their motivation. And you can do that really simply just by, I don't know, sticking on your favorite song and just bopping around the room like nobody's watching you, okay? You could stick on your favorite song and just, you know, shake your shoulders and move them up and down. Like, you imagine all the different ways you can move your shoulders. Nobody's watching, nobody cares, it doesn't matter about the direction, and you add a really good song to that. You're going to lift somebody's mood, you're going to lift their motivation, and by moving the shoulders in different ways, you're going to keep opening the joints out, and that is going to decrease the amount of micro restrictions in somebody's shoulders. That way you're going to lift their mood. You see, it's a cycle that goes up and up and up. When you decrease somebody's micro restrictions, you increase their mood and their motivation, okay? It's very, very simple. Remember, emotions drive decisions, and that means emotions drive actions. So it doesn't really matter what your training plan is or how good your diet program is. If somebody is not feeling good, they're not going to want to do it. So your job as a fitness coach is to break the barriers that are stopping your clients from moving forwards, and emotions are a huge part of that, okay? So I have dedicated an entire chapter actually in my book to this exact topic. It's a completely free book. I will drop the link in the comments below so you can go and grab that. Make sure you grab it, read it, use the principles in that book to help you break those barriers for your clients so that you can increase their motivation and you can give them the results that your training plan deserves and your clients deserves as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.